and shine, ladies! My name is Senior Drill Instructor Dwight T. Barnes. The first and last words I want to hear out of your stinking holes is, sir. Do I make myself clear?
Sir! Yes, sir!
My goal is simple. As of right now, you are all maggots. You will not speak until spoken to. You will not sleep unless told to do so. When I ask you to jump, you will reply with, how high? Do you get me?
Sir! Yes, sir!
What's your name, dirtbag? Sound off like you got a pair! Corporal Shepard, huh? Looks more like Corporal Dog Meat to me. Seems your name was mysteriously bumped to the top of the advanced training list. My suggestion to you is to get your ass down to the training center and report to Drill Instructor Sharp ASAP. Now move it, Corporal. Where are you from, soldier? Texas? Holy cow! You know what comes from Texas, don't you? You eyeballing me, boy? You had better square yourself away, maggot! I smell smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire! You better move it, soldier!
Okay, that's pretty much it for that part. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Let's Play of...
What is your major malfunction, dirtbag?
Of Opposing Force. I'm the Ninja Stalker, and the first episode is just the intro part, because again, for some reason this game, if you're on the main screen, it won't record past it because the game has to load away from the main screen to the actual game. So it's going to be like the Blue Shift, where episode 1 was just like a few minutes, and then the second part, or episode 2, is actually episode 1.1, which, because it's supposed to be part 1. It's supposed to be episode 1, but it's just extended. So there's 2 different parts, which sucks, but I guess that's just how it is with the recording. So here we are. We're playing as Corporal Shepard, Adrian Shepard, and we're gonna play on through. These guys, this is the Marine Corps, so there are some continuity issues I see in this game. Some of the references that they make to to these individuals, these Marines, they call them soldiers. They're not soldiers, they're Marines. There's a difference. Soldiers are for the army personnel. Like airmen is for the Air Force, sailors for the Navy, and Marines are for the Marine Corps. It's one thing that annoys everybody in the military is when they get all that wrong. That's the only thing that really bothers me a bit, is whenever they get that continuity issue, because most video games and some movies kind of screw that up, and it actually annoys me. It doesn't annoy me as much as other people who are like full core Marines, because I know the Marines get pissed off the most about that, but you know, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me as much, but I like to make sure things are properly correct. So these guys are not soldiers, they are Marines. Apart from that, this intro is very reminiscent of the movie, what was it, Full Metal Jacket, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Major Payne, which was a pretty funny movie about a Marine, high-ranking officer, Major Payne. You know, he's a major. To me, that's a high-ranking officer, and he's a Marine Corps soldier. And he kind of reminds me of him because he called everyone maggots, and in the movie, he calls them all maggots and turd sandwiches and stuff like that. But anyways, here's our bed right here. Here's our footlocker. And you see that book right there. There's other books too, but that book right there is supposed to be advanced training. It said Shepard was bumped to the advanced training list for much more further training for what he's about to get into. We're also ranked at Corporal, which is an NCO rank. I guess the closest thing that I would have in resemblance to this for the advanced training list was my MOS that I got, that I was picked for, or that I qualified for rather, is 153 Alpha, which is a rotary wing aviator. That's should I pass the training, because I'm currently in the training right now. That would be the advanced training right there. these beds are set up almost similar to what we had at basic training where I was at for Fort Jackson. We had bunks, so it would be the bed on top of another, and then that's how it was. We didn't have foot lockers. We had wall lockers and a mini locker inside that wall locker. Apart from that, yeah. For the instructors here in the Marine Corps, they're called drill instructors. The Army, they are called drill sergeants. The rank, I believe, he said he was a gunnery sergeant, and I think that is what it is for them. Gunnery sergeant. I believe it's a form of a staff sergeant for the Army. I'm not 100% sure on that because I don't know much about the Marines, but I know somewhat plenty for the Army. Again, I'm still learning, but hey. Campaign hat. In the Army, they call them the round and brown. I think the Marine Corps is probably the same, but I know for that circle right there is supposed to be the emblem of the Marine Corps you see on this guy's hat. It'll be that on there. For the Army, it'll be the United States Army symbol. And if they happen to be a infantry drill sergeant, it'll be a blue band, a blue circle around that circle. My father had one of those. My father was a senior drill sergeant for 8 years at Fort Benning, Georgia in the 80s. And since he was infantry, he'll have a blue band around his, and he still keeps it to this day. The uniform is different in the Army. It was from my father's time. They used the jungle BDUs, but the Class B uniform, which is what this is, it was a different color from my father's time. It was like a light blue-green, and the pants was, I believe the pants was dark green like that, and they had nice shoes and all that. That was for the Class A's. Or Class B's. Our Class B's that we have now is a white inner shirt, whether it's short sleeve or long sleeve, with a white shirt underneath that, a white T-shirt underneath that. You'll have the ribbons and the name tag. For me, since I am a warrant officer, I have the warrant officer rank on the shoulders. It's a black rank with. It's a black tab with the rank, a silver rank, and the black dot for the single one black dot for a warrant officer. Name tape over there, and for me, I only have like 2 ribbons because I'm still new in the military. The pants is like a dark blue, and then we have the nice shiny shoes, the belt, gold-plated nickel, whatever it is, and our headgear now. The headgear now is a beret, a black beret, which is kind of odd because the beret was supposed to be a thing for the Rangers, but now everyone has them. So I'm pretty sure the Rangers have a slight bit of animosity about that because everyone's wearing them because now it's like part of your Class A uniform. From my father's time, it was 2 headgear pieces. It was either you wore the saucer cap, which most people said looked like a bus driver's hat. I didn't think it looked like a bus driver's hat because a bus driver's hat to me was like much bigger than what the Army gives you. The Army is usually about trying to get you looking fitted and like a role model. It just depends on the individual if they're going to be the role model, but everyone should be up and up about being the part. And then the flight cap, which most people didn't like the flight cap. I didn't like the flight cap when I was in the Air Force ROTC. I hated it. It was a dumb hat. It's the dumbest thing. Another name for that. Well, I'm not going to say the other name for the hat, but there's another. The hat kind of reminded me of one of those like 1950s food manager people, or maybe like ice cream truck hat or something. It looked like one of those. It was a terrible hat. I just didn't like it. Nowadays we have the beret, and I think you can get the saucer cap, but you have to pay extra money just to get that. So there is that. a little bit of fun fact I like to poke fun of when it comes to Marine Corps, because Marines, they're all like hua hua and gun ho and all that. There's nothing against them, but a little fun fact, like usually when you want to like calm down a Marine, especially if they're like riding on cloud 9 or whatever, and you just want to poke fun at them, you just got to tell them, like, back in World War II, there was a time where they were going to end the Marine Corps, which is a true story. Back, when was it? I want to say it was like 1946 or 47. No. It was, I think it was 43 or 44. I don't remember when. I know it was sometime during World War II that there was a segmented time frame that they were considering of disbanding or getting rid of the Marine Corps, because the general consensus was, why do we need a Marine Corps when we have the Army, and the Army's pretty much doing everything that the Marine Corps is doing, but they go further inland. The Marines, they were the Navy's army, but they were established and called the Marines, and they've needed them since the formation of the United States during 1975, 76 or something like that. They came in a little afterwards. Because first that was set up in the United States was the Army, and you'll see it in the Army flag. It was 1975. The Navy, I believe, came in afterwards, and then the Marine Corps came in afterwards, after the Navy, because they needed a type of security for the naval ships during that time frame. So then the Marine Corps came in at that. During World War II, there was a talk about, like, hey, why do we have a Marine Corps? Let's just get rid of them and keep the Army and have the Army do everything. But somebody luckily said, hey, we could really use the Marine Corps because they could be specifically trained to repel boarders on ships and move inland, and they're really experienced in doing land amphibious assaults. The Army partakes in these and actually does them. My father actually practiced doing this when he was in the Army, I want to say during the 70s to 80s. No, it might have been just the 70s. I know he explained that he did some training where he was going off LST ships and doing land amphibious assaults. He mentioned an incident one time, actually, that there was a soldier that got crushed in between two ships when they were climbing down the ropes from one ship to another. The waves were really going hard, and the guy slipped, and his foot got caught in some rope, and the ships were swaying back and forth, and they came close to each other and like squashed this guy. It was a pretty terrible story, and everybody was shocked in horror about it. But man, it's a terrible way to go. I believe he did this training off the coast of California or something like that. He mentioned, because my dad went everywhere. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, that was a little poke fun jab at the Marine Corps. If you want another poke jab at another military group, the Air Force is one everyone likes to pick on. Usually Air Force, that people call them the Chair Force. But the interesting thing with that is the Air Force originally was the Army Air Corps. They were a part of us. During World War II, they were Army Air Corps. They were the Army. But then enough people joined the Army Air Corps and said, we need to be our own thing. And they went off to be their own thing, and now they pretty much want to control everything that's in the air. They have animosity towards the Army, the Marine Corps, and the Navy having planes, jets, and helicopters. The Air Force believes they should be the only people who control the skies, and it's ridiculous that they're doing that, because I've mentioned in my other Let's Plays about the A-10. The Air Force wants to get rid of the A-10, but they don't want to get rid of it because they know if they get rid of the A-10, the Army is going to be the first set of military service that picks up the A-10 for its capabilities, which is air-to-ground support, or like I like to call it ground-to-air support is what I call it. Because it's the ground and it's air support that you help in the ground. And who better than the Army to take care of its soldiers on the ground? Is the Army that should be handling the A-10s. The Air Force's mission is air superiority. The A-10 is not air superiority. Although you can arm it with air-to-air missiles, it is much more suited as a ground air support aircraft, and it does support the ground forces whenever we have to call in the A-10s from the Air Force. The Air Force begrudgingly does the task, and everyone's happy for the A-10, not exactly for the Air Force. And everyone's happy for the pilots, even though the pilots begrudgingly regret doing it because they didn't really want to be an A-10 pilot. They wanted to be fighter pilots, bomber pilots. They want the better aircraft. It's the general consensus. You might find the rare amount of pilots that actually enjoy flying A-10s, but that's a small number when it comes to the Air Force. Because again, everyone in the Air Force is going for the next bigger thing. They want to be F-15 pilots, F-22 Raptor pilots, the F-35 Lightning. That's an aircraft that they want to go for. Everyone's trying to go for that, and the competition is high. So when it comes to being an Air Force pilot, it's all about, I want to be the best. Again, not all pilots and not all airmen are like that, but the general consensus is that they want something better. I've always mentioned in my other Let's Plays, is like the Army should have always had the A-10 and kept it, but the Air Force doesn't want to give that up because they believe they're the only ones who should control fixed-wing aircraft. So for me, I've always said, like, yeah, the A-10, that should be an Army aircraft. The C-130s should be an Army aircraft because that's a ground air support aircraft as well. And then let the Air Force deal with getting different aircraft that's more suited to their mission, which is air superiority. That's the mission that I remember it was when I was in the Air Force ROTC, when they instilled that into us when we went to study our aeronautical history and other classes that I took, was that the Air Force's mission is air superiority. It was something before I joined, like years ago, and this was like 2008, so years before 2008. That's what it was, but it's always has been air superiority. And yet they're acting like snobby little kids who don't want to give up the A-10, and I think that's kind of shitty. That's very shitty. It just pisses me off and baffles me. But again, not all airmen are bad. I know one or two of them that are in, and they're pretty cool and all that and whatnot. But yeah, so we'll continue on. Let's go through the exit. Alright. We got a Marine running over, guy doing push-ups. He's probably in trouble. Or he's doing a little bit of PT, but if it's not a large formation, then he probably did something bad and he's working out. Up here, you see a little glimpse of G-Man there talking to the, I'm just going to assume the commander of this area. Some things to look at. Go over here. You see a MP. Military police. There's a truck going through. You don't see these guys anywhere else in the game. It's just here at training. So that kind of sucks.
This is a restricted area, soldier.
And they'll all say that and all sound like that, and they all have glasses. We go over here. We'll see a Osprey. Or at least to me, it's an Osprey. There we are. Kind of looks like what they did was they took a Chinook and they put wings and have engines on top where it'll switch from vertical lift to forward motion. So here's another MP. Just put that there, why not?
1, 2, 3, 4. You call that a push-up? All the way down!
Yeah, all the way down, guy.
What is your major malfunction, dirtbag?
Alright, so here we are at advanced training. Okay, and you can't go that way, and you can't go the other way, so let's just go straight forward.
All right, maggot, listen up. I don't care what your previous outfit was like, but around here we do things my way. Follow my instructions carefully, and by the end of the day, I'll have you eating danger and crapping victory.
Damn.
Now move your butt, soldier. I will meet you on the other side in the armory.
Now see, he said soldier. That's incorrect. He would say Marine. Now move it, Marine. There we are. Pick that up.
Mounted on the wall below me, you will
Charge
see
it. This will get it to
PC.
75.
This is a powered combat vest. Use it correctly and I guarantee it will save your life. Your PC PCV is able to recharge from battery power, or it can interface
This
and recharge
is the
with
only time you see
commercial,
one of these
military,
power
and HEV
stations.
charging stations.
Unless
What
there's
are you waiting for?
unless there's another
Grab
one
that
located
PCV
somewhere
and get it
else,
fully
but this is the
charged.
only time you
Trust
see
me,
this
maggot,
Ohms
you're
Power
gonna
Inc.
need it.
and then there's the HEV.
I'll meet you in the next area to demonstrate some of your best capabilities.
Also, earlier he said, I don't care what your previous unit did or whatever. Our guy wasn't exactly in a previous unit. Oh, I didn't notice it. That guy was up there. Because, especially considering that this is basic training or training, yeah, this is basic training, boot camp especially. There isn't exactly a previous unit. There's only the one unit you're part of, which is the training unit. So I don't know why he said that.
That your military has provided you with will keep you alive. Step on to the mark and this will be demonstrated for you. As you can see, you are not dead. Your PCV absorbed the damage at the cost of some of its power. Keep your PCV charged and your chances of survival in the field are very high. Proceed to the next area.
This is one of my favorite characters designs right here, is because he's got the Bakalva that covers the full face, and he's also got a goggle system that I like. It's a one-piece goggle system for the eye set, versus what most people have is like the two-piece eye set, especially when it's a gas mask. They show more common the two-piece eye set. What I had back at basic training when we were doing the gas training was a one-piece goggle eye set, which I like because it doesn't affect or alter your
You're going to have to pick up the pace, dirtbag.
your peripherals.
My beloved Corps does not have the patience to wait around for your worthless butt. The following areas will simulate many of the environmental hazards you are likely to encounter in the field. Run through it as quickly as you can and try to avoid taking too much damage. A dead Marine is a worthless Marine. I will see you up ahead if you can make it through alive. Holy sheep shit, you made it! What's that on your vest, soldier? Did that sting a little? Well, suck it up and drive on! I'm not through with you yet! Proceed through that door into the small staging room and await my instructions! In addition to providing protection, your PCV has other capabilities. Once the light goes out, the door in front of you will open. Activate your night vision goggles to navigate this maze and exit on the other side. Now move like you got a purpose.
Alright. Okay, just navigate through. And what do you know?
Well, I'll be damned. You may just have what it takes to be a soldier. Now
See, he
double
says
time it
soldier
over to
again.
the next portion of your training. Move it! Move it! All right, maggot, let's see if you can move your butt through my obstacle course. On your mark, get set, go, go, go! Run up and over those platforms. Move, move, move! Duck, now jump! Get your sorry ass moving! Get your ass down that hill! Scale that wall! Hurry it up! My dear sweet grandmother moves faster than you, dirtbag! Get over that beam! I thought we were training soldiers here! Are you trying to embarrass me? Proceed to the next area! Come on, double time it! Move, move, move!
Well, you're not training soldiers, you're training Marines. There's a difference. Our basic training, there was so much more than what we're... Excuse me. There was so much more than what we had at basic training than what is showed here. But then again, it is a video game, so you can't have, like, a whole lot.
Let's see if you can climb faster than you can run! Ready? Very good! Maybe there's hope for you yet. Now, do you want to come up here and try to knock me off?
There we go.
You can definitely climb better than you can run. Now let's see if you can use these ropes for more than just simple climbing.
Almost fucked that up.
Jump, catch that rope, and use your momentum to swing across that water. This might take more coordination than you have, soldier. I want you to swing from rope to rope and meet me at the end of the course. What is your problem,
damn it.
soldier? Get back up and try it again.
There we go.
I'm almost impressed, soldier. Meet me in the next section and let's see if I can shake you up a bit. You better move like you got a purpose. Okay, soldier, this is a live fire exercise. This run will give you a taste of what it's like to be in the field. Keep your head
For
low and move between cover.
our live
I
fire
wanna see your
exercise,
face in
live
the
fire
dirt, soldier.
exercise, it was almost similar to this, except it was a trench that you had to climb over, and we did it at like pitch black night, which was kind of cool because you saw like all the bullets flying and the explosions happening. But it was a trench that you went over, and then you had to crawl all the way.
Soldier, move it, move it, move it.
We had to crawl all the way over. There was barbed wire we had to go under, and it was all over the place. Did I just get hit again? That guy's not shooting.
You actually managed to make it
Yeah,
through
you have
my
to
favorite
crawl all
training
the way through.
exercise
There's
in
not one time in
piece.
basic training are you supposed to stand up because you can actually get shot and die. The weapons that they used was M249 saws and M240 Bravos. They would shoot those over, and the explosions there was just not mines, but there was like a set of explosions all over the place.
Very good.
So pick this up. For the longest time, I didn't know what this weapon was. I thought it was some unique weapon. I didn't know that it was basically the Desert Eagle with
Your
a
weapon
little
is your
laser
best
sights
friend.
on it.
It is your only friend. And to be more effective, soldier, you must master your weapon. On the table, you will see your standard issue sidearm. Pick it up and step over to the pistol range. The object of this exercise is to familiarize yourself with the functions and use of your weapon. The goal is for you to place 6 shots within the inner circle of each target. You may begin.
At basic training, we didn't have this. They would not worry about pistol training at your basic training because I think they feel that the pistol should only be a thing that I believe officers would deal with more often. Basic training, all we had was the M4 training or M16 if your group came with the M16. Our group was special for some reason. We got the M4s with the 6.8 scopes. They weren't really scopes, but it was a 6.8 sighting. So on this weapon, the alternate fire turns the laser sight on, and it lowers the speed of which you can shoot it, but it makes it much more accurate. If you take it off, you can shoot faster, but your accuracy is pretty much crap, and you don't want to do that with a gun like this where the rounds are kind of hard to find. You kind of want your shots to hit.
You may proceed to the next section of the training course.
For us at Warrant Officer Candidate School, well, not Warrant Officer Candidate School, it was a Warrant Officer Basic Leader course. We have the M9 range for us to qualify using the M9s, and it's the M9s. We didn't have we're not using anything else. I think in the future they might change the pistol, but it was the M9 range is what it was for us, and you have to score above. Was it 17? Yeah, I think you have to score above a 17. As far as I know, nobody really gets the high amount of score that you can get, which I think is a 30. It's damn near impossible because the range is not perfect. The targets don't detect well when you hit, and the targets are all shot up and used up, that there's more likely a round that you shoot will go through an already made hole, and it will not register that you shot it. Other times, you can shoot the target, and the target will go down, and they won't detect that you actually shot it down, so you can get a score that's not believable. I was partnered up with a former cop, and he said most definitely I scored anywhere from I want to say 27 to 30, and I told him no, I didn't get the full 30. I know for sure that I missed one target. And he was like, oh, well then you're like up there, dude. You're pretty good. And I told him, I have my carry to conceal license that I got when I was living in Kansas, and my weapon that I used for that license was the M9, my 92 FS that I have back home. The stance that I used though for the carry to conceal, you had to use 3 different stances. So, but here in the Army, you're taught one stance and you should use it, and that's what I did. I was like a sponge. Anything that they taught that they taught me was God. I had a crazy accent that just happened there. Does that ever happen to you guys? Like you accidentally get the accent of almost where you came from? Happened. I know it's off topic, but it happened to me one time. I was talking to somebody, and then I said the trunk in my car, but I said it like a New Yorker, and they were like, "Oh my God, are you from New York?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah, that accent." I was like, "I swear that never pops up. I never acquired a New Yorker accent. It just popped up, and it was just the funniest thing that we had to laugh about." But anyways, the stance I had to use was just like just this normal. I want to say the normal. I call it a normal balanced stance. You have foot to your left, foot to your right. You don't have that like martial artist stance where you have 1 foot forward, 1 foot behind, and it's turned sideways. They do not recommend that. They recommend you have a normal balanced stance. That way, when you shoot, the recoil has all throughout your body to go through, rather than giving it certain pivot points to go to. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue on.
Thanks, Corporal.
Sniper range. Basic training, you definitely will not be messing with the sniper range. They're only going to give the sniper range to individuals who are training to be scouts or snipers.
This exercise will train you in the use of a long-range sniper rifle. Proceed to the table, pick up the sniper rifle, and position yourself on the firing line.
They're definitely not going to bother with a soldier
in this exercise, you will
training
be
to use a sniper rifle or a pistol when your primary weapon is going to be an M16 or an M4.
As you will notice, your sniper rifle comes equipped with
especially
a scope.
if you're infantry.
Use this scope to magnify your view, making the distant targets easier to see. In the distance, you will notice 3 stationary targets partially concealed. Hit each of these targets to advance to the next stage of target.
I was going to get more ammo, but it's not necessary. When you do the firing range, it's always best to go for center mass right there. That's why all targets have it like that, because it's easier to hit center mass versus trying to hit a headshot where your target is much smaller, as you can see here. It's much smaller, but here center mass, you got the whole thing to hit. So this is what you want to do.
Good. Now let's see how you do with simple moving targets at that range, soldier.
A lot of video games will show if you go for headshots, it can really knock out the individual, but it's much harder to hit doing that. So.
Now let's see if you can hit the moving targets at long range. Make sure to take your time and line up those shots, soldier. Make sure to take careful aim, soldier. Patience is key for those crucial shots. Not bad at all, soldier. Now let's see if you can do the same at extreme range. Unbelievable! You can actually shoot. I'd actually consider letting you cover my ass in a firefight. I'm finished with you, soldier. Proceed to the next area and report to the next drill instructor.
Alright. Go turn in our sniper rifle.
Thanks, Corporal.
There we are.
All right, dirtbag. You've proven yourself a capable drunk. Now let's see if there's any leadership qualities in that sorry carcass of yours. To become an effective leader, you must familiarize yourself with the skill set of each soldier in your platoon. The first type of soldier you will meet is the engineer. Engineers have a knack for getting you in and out of places that are otherwise inaccessible. Take charge and have him follow you to the sealed door.
This right here would be a mini bit of NCO training of some type. For us, since we're corporal, that's considered an NCO. That's like on the low end of the totem pole of NCOs, but it's still an NCO nonetheless. So
Yes, sir.
So we go and get him. He says, "Sir, I don't know if all NCOs get called that in the Marine Corps, but I know in the Army, no NCO likes being called sir. They'll usually come up with some quick quip to give you, like, oh, don't call me sir, I work for a living." I really don't know why they say that. That's kind of odd. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Even when I wasn't an officer, or warrant officer in my case, which is still an officer, but and I was a civilian, and my father was an NCO. I never understood that. I've asked my father, and I don't know what answer he gave me, but it wasn't the answer I was looking for. I was expecting to understand like why they say that, because the thing is, me as a warrant officer, I do work. I know a lot of guys who actually do work, so I don't know why they would say something like that. Like, I work for a living. And like, yeah, so am I. So what are you saying? What are you insinuating? But it's whatever.
Affirmative, sir.
So let's get him. But I do know the drill instructors in the Marine Corps. They say you will respond with sir. So I think that's a thing for the Marine Corps. It's probably because it's like an instructor kind of deal that they're training you and teaching you like that. But I don't know. Come on.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Stand back, Corporal. This should only take a minute. As you can see, this soldier may prove quite useful in the field. Once you've breached the room, proceed through the door and meet the next type of soldier. You in one piece is proving to be quite a challenge.
There you go.
The medic can be one of the most valued soldiers on the field. They have the ability to heal both you and your fellow squad members. To receive medical attention, simply hold down your use key and the medic will apply first aid. Once the medic has attended to your wounds, proceed to the next area to complete your training. Listen up, soldiers. During the course of your missions, you may not be in direct contact with your squad. In these situations, you will need to utilize any available military radios. These radios can be used to call in reinforcements or gain vital military intelligence. Approach the radio and use it, soldier.
I hear you loud and clear. We'll move to your position.
Congratulations, soldier. You're no longer a low-life maggot. I'm proud to say you are a soldier. I'm sure you'll be a credit to your unit. Now report to duty, soldier.
It says soldier again. This is what our character looks like right here. Alright, so there's that. Let's go ahead and jump into the game on medium. Let's go. Let me see.
Well, the pilot thought we were heading to your mother's house. So far, this all looks familiar.
Yeah, that's real cute, Jack.
Anytime, anywhere.
Hey, man, you smell that?
Smell what?
Smells like another babysitting job to me, man.
No shit, man. Babysitting job my ass. This has training mission written all over it. Why else would they have kept our orders from us for so long, huh?
Yeah, what the hell is that all about? Throwing our asses in this hunk of junk and not even telling us what we're going in for, man.
Do you have a problem, Private? I will give you your orders when we have reached the LZ. You got that, soldier?
Sir, yes, sir.
I don't really give a damn what we're going in for, as long as I get to kill me something. I heard that.
Watch your vector, Goose 3. It's getting a little tight in here.
If this is another search and rescue operation, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pissed too when I gotta search out and rescue your sorry ass.
Anyone out there got a good view of the LZ yet? Negative, Goose 7. I can see some activity up there, but I can't tell what it is.
Hey, Shep,
What I don't
think
understand is
Jackson
that
here's
he's got an
the
M203
Okay, listen up, people.
and he's got an M203. You would only have one member of the team that
What's going on out there? Watch it, Goose 7. You got something coming up on you.
Like the guy in front of us should probably have the machine gun, whether the M240 Bravo or the M249. Because, you know, he's got the and then everyone else should probably have M16.
Get down!
I don't know why the medic would just go for the person and not get rid of the enemy. So, welcome to
3,
Black Mesa.
4, 5.
So we were rescued by this scientist, and he's trying to help
4,
one of our buddies.
5. Oh, you've woken up. Corporal Shepard,
It
is
probably
it?
would have been
I've
better
read
for
the
him to
tag
take
on your
the
uniform.
vest off before
I'm
doing all
glad to
that.
see my
but,
life-saving efforts weren't in vain. I can't say the same for him. I'm afraid you have been through a serious accident. Most of your friends didn't make it. I was hoping that you soldiers had come to rescue us, but now it seems we are all in the same situation. I think I saw a radio near the crash site where I found you. Perhaps you can go there and radio for help?
Now, we play as the Marines here, and we can be good this in this time frame, this go around, because usually these guys are the antagonists when you play as Calhoun or Freeman. But since we're Shepard, we're the good guys, or at least we can play the good guys, because this is these guys are a part of Shepard's unit. Shepard's unit didn't get the full information because it said mission classified. I'm pretty sure if the mission was actually told to us, because our leader before the chopper got hit, jumped out of the chopper, was going to tell us what our mission is, and I'm pretty sure we would have said like to eradicate Black Mesa, but we don't get that option. So we get to play good, and it's not in me to injure these guys when they're here to help us anyhow. So, because we're the ones who are best suited to deal with this, and they're the ones who are best suited to support us. I don't see a reason to cause harm to them. There goes one of the leaders. Could be the guy who was in a chopper. I doubt it, because he fell from a great height. But
These crab creatures have a unique parasitic strategy, don't you think?
I suppose, but you think it's great to be poking it with a stick. And here's our buddies. This one's dead. This one's got a crab on him.
Never seen such
And
a
then this one
magnificent
mutates.
species. These crabs can completely control their host's nervous system. Can you imagine what the next stage of mutation looks like?
And it's in this game that you do get the next stage of mutation. And you'll see what that is. So let's continue on. He should have gone for the door. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the only one who can open it.
Oh,
Okay. Go in here. There's the head crab doing all that stuff. he won't chase us anymore. Here's one of these security officers,
I
dead.
think I got a right one.
And here's this guy.
Okay, I don't want to die alone.
Alright. He's one of the, you know, bigger security officers, but he doesn't have that mustache, or he doesn't look like the other bigger security officers, so that's a thing.
Okay, Shepard, I see you found your power vest. That should keep you safe out there. See, now I've heard rumors that you troops may not actually be here to rescue us. Just don't forget about us out there, alrighty? Okay, I'll let you through now. Maybe I should guard that closet over there. Good luck, sir.
Here's our weapon that they give Shepard. Freeman and Calhoun get the crowbar. We get this. It's slower on the attacks, and the wind-up shot, very powerful. Come over here, and we got to get rid of this mirror. There we go.
Medical attention required in Sector 27.
Okay, there's G-Men walking away after talking to him. Get their attention, but they'll both turn, but it's not gonna matter. He's not gonna open it for some reason. We do that, that explodes. Ensuring that we can't get through. I don't know why he could have done something to stop him. Maybe he's on the payroll or something else. I don't know, but he's the one guy who could have done something. Platforming. And now we have our other melee weapon. This one's very fast. There's almost no need to go back to the wrench unless you really want like a powerful melee attack. Through there for obvious reasons, but we will return. This guy touches the fence, I don't know why. High voltage right there says it. So, Darwinism right there. Through here, be careful with the electricity. get pistol. As you can see, it's very powerful.
Shepard, you're alive. Listen, we've been run up pretty bad. The orders are coming down to pull out. Repeat, pull out. Apparently they've got other plans for Black Mesa now. If you can make your way through the transit system, you can probably reach the surface where we are pulling out. Good luck. Over.
Okay. And if you speak with it again.
Get through the transit system to the extraction point. Don't...
Okay, so I think that's all you can get out of it. I don't know if there's anything here that Now I could save ammo and not attack those, but I always try to kill everything in my path. Next weapon. If you didn't know to come over here, you'll be panicking and then things will start to fall apart, and all you're going to eventually do is backwards. this right about, I guess, there. Yeah, what I thought. So this is the only other spot we got to go through is right over here. Oh. There we are. Save because I'm probably gonna fuck this up. Okay, there we are.
This train is inbound
From Sector C. Please
keep your lens inside the train at all times. Associated with the background in the areas of theoretical physics or other high-tech disciplines. Radiation and biohazard screenings are a requirement of continued employment.
the Black Mesa
Research facility. If you do not attempt to
open the door.
until the train has come to a complete halt at the station platform.
Eerie music playing.
Now arriving.
There's the next weapon to pick up right there. It's the M9.
Candy. Stupid machines. Why don't these ever seem to work? Hey, you wouldn't have a quarter I can borrow, would you?
Anyways.
I gotta say, that mall security job is looking pretty good right now.
Okay, now let me test this theory that I mentioned.
And I was supposed to play bridge tonight.
Yep, that's it. So you get that amount, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or you can get 10 from 1, but it takes a while, so. Look, there's Koso's, Captain Pure High
My
Speed
mom
Cable.
is gonna worry when I don't make it home tonight.
Right there, dude. Pick it up.
So, my reputation precedes me.
Yeah. You surprised they don't get health from these, but you know.
Oh, that was way too close for comfort.
Alright, come on. Kill it. If they die, they'll drop ammo. I didn't really want him to die. I'd rather have them all live. But if he was foolish enough to go up the stairs to get right up into the business of it all, then he deserves to die. Because, I mean, he has a weapon, a firearm that you're supposed to deal at a distance, not run up close to the enemy. Just stupid.
Have you seen the new IG-88?
No, I haven't. But a friend of mine...
What's that? What is that, Doc?
I don't know. I've never seen that species before.
It's okay, sir. I can take him. Took a little damage, but I can make it.
No! I don't want to die!
Now, if that security officer was alive, he'd be right there. He would have said, "Those poor bastards." And then that's pretty much it. They always die. This guy, the security officer here that died, he usually, what he says right there after he gets hit, he's like, "I took a little damage, but I should be alright," or something like that. But I don't know why he spent that amount of time just getting shot at, saying, "Oh, I'll be alright," instead of just continuing to shoot. Now, if the security officer's alive, you'd open the door for him here, and then you can continue on.
Oh, no. You're one of them. Can't we just get along? Let's go. I refuse to go another step. Yes. I'm slowing you down, am I? Yes. Let's go. Why are you leaving? Fine. You won't even know I'm here.
Are you gonna heal me or what? Actually, hold up. We're gonna load back. because I want that security officer alive. Because that door that I was trying to get into, he'll open that for us.
Candy. Stupid machines. Why don't these ever seem to work? Hey, you wouldn't have a quarter I can borrow, would ya? Believe it or not, I was a wuss in high school. I know it's hard to believe. I have a better chance of survival with you. That's right, I got another one. Fighting aliens is not in my job description. I'd love to hang that over my fireplace. You just think it's all about you. Have you seen the new RG-88?
No, I haven't, but a friend of mine...
What is that, Doc?
I don't know. I've never seen that species before.
It's okay, sir. I can take him.
Oh! No! I don't want to die!
Those poor bastards.
Yep, there we are. There we are. Now he'll be able to open this for us. And we have that and that.
My cousin is the one that got me this job.
Oh no. You're one of them. Can't we just get along?
He won't join us for whatever reason.
See, now we have a better chance if we stay together. Oh yeah, baby, did you see that?
Yeah, he won't go beyond this point. So if you want to kill him for the ammo that he drops, that's up to you, but he won't join us any further. Here, you get this weapon now. Pick that up. These charging stations will get you up to 50, I believe. Yep, 50. Okay, can't go that way, so the only other way to go is up here. There, and a vent here. Okay, so this one you can't go in. Alright, so there's the chopper that's pulling us all out. He just goes out the other side for sure.
Come in, Cooper. Do you copy? Forget about it. We're abandoning the base. If you have any last bomb targets, mark them on the tactical map. Otherwise, get the hell out of there. Repeat, we are pulling
guy
out and
has a
commencing
green beret.
airstrikes. Give us targets or get below.
Which I believe is an army thing for the Green Berets.
Shepard, you've made it. I take it you didn't find Freeman? Forget it, Corporal. We are pulling out. The airstrike has started. Get to the hangar while we await evac.
Again, I'm not sure. I don't know much about the Marines. I don't know if they have Green Berets.
Where's Freeman? We don't have time to mess around here.
You've got to believe me. Freeman could be anywhere.
I'm not letting you go until you talk. This is my post, sir.
To be injuring the other guy, is it?
This is my post, sir. Check your zone.
I seem to be seriously wounded.
Oh man, did you see that? He shot himself. God, what a horrible, tragic events and karma that comes back at him. Anyways, you can't do much with this guy, but there is these. Which is good. There's that, and it leads somewhere. It's down here. I think it just leads right there, so let's find out. Yep. Yep. There's the exit closing in on us. We can escape or leave. And I don't know about the leader up above. I think he's still up there. And G-Man here prevented us from leaving because he closed the door on us. So, there's the Oscar. Just leaves us. And now we're stuck in this area. you got these little creatures that attack you. there. Explosion. These head crabs are almost reminiscent to the face huggers in Aliens, with the way that they do things. Except these guys aren't planting a egg in you that's gonna hatch into an alien and burst out of your chest, but it is gonna mutate you and change you for worse. Parasitic. I can't remember if there's anything over here. There might have been, but it's whatever.
You've got to get out of here. Listen to me, Shepard. Those things, they'll kill all of us.
Well, they won't kill me, I can assure you that. There's a new creature. Guys you want to get rid of, they'll shoot these barbs out of their face. See those holes that they have there? They'll shoot barbs out of their face there, and see, there's a number amount that they can shoot, but this proximity mine. Take that. Okay. Let's go back here real quick. Barbs that they shot out.
I don't know what's wrong. You soldiers under orders to silence the facility or these vile aliens.
Right, so we can't take him with us because he's kept himself there. So let's down since we can't go up because that thing is electrified. And I'm getting shocked. It's got to be a pretty amazing feat to climb with both hands on a gun, and then your legs are using it. Like, can you imagine that crap? The amazing dexterity you must have, you know. Those to back what we lost. somebody has C4 planted, or some kind of proximity mine planted. That guy, this happens. Open this way, but if you really wanted to get the that battery charge unit that the scientist was at, you just gotta come over here and damn it, come on. Let's see, there was also that platform below. Here, but there is a proximity mine right there. That's why they have the grenade here. So let's put the grenade right there. That's you come back over here to grab this little box. And here's a scientist with his mouth open. He's just jiggling all over the place. Why don't I see some more? I don't know what happened, but open, because we might need the box again. Look.
Hello. When all the fighting started, I hid myself here.
Okay.
I don't think any of them above have survived.
I don't think so either.
Who is responsible for this mess?
There's this guy. I think he'll follow us for a bit. I mean, all the people generally follow us for a bit. But,
yeah, lead the way.
All right, so follow.
Pretty grim.
Going to stay here and wait for my colleagues.
Okay, so he's not going to go anywhere. These guys, sadly,
Corporal Shepard, we've been left behind as well. We're onto your position now. Stand back from the maintenance door. We're going to blow it.
Alright.
Why, look at those peculiar markings.
Alright, so that's destroyed.
Sir, it looks like somebody really screwed up, Corporal. Seems the brass bit off more than they could chew. Yeah, well, forget about Freeman. We've got to save our own asses. You with us, Corporal?
Alright, so there's an idea. These guys realize that there's something bad going on.
Roger that.
Yes, they'll communicate with each other like that. Have you seen any of the soldiers from my platoon? And the other guy said,
This
Roger
whole
that.
operation is out of control. Squad, quiet down.
And then he'll say that. But they said, like, the higher chain of command realized something's wrong, something went wrong, and it's time to pull out. And then This guy over here says, yeah, forget about Freeman. Let's
Just when I
try
was
and
getting
worry about
short,
us
I've
and
got
getting the
to
hell
pull
out of
this
here.
assignment.
So that's a pretty good idea right there. That's
The current
the
situation
smartest
is
thing
looking
somebody's
pretty
mentioned.
grim.
Anyways, I'll go ahead and stop the video here. I hope you guys
Roger
enjoyed
that.
so far. You guys are great. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm the Ninja Stalker.
this
I'm
area.
signing out.